Well, you were very fortunate. If you'd been driving any faster, well, the accident could have been much more serious for you.
You wouldn't happen to know if Cruz Castillo was notified yet, would you?
Yeah, the nurse was trying to reach him on the phone, but I don't think she had any luck. She did reach your father, however, and he's on his way.
Do you think you might be able to call him and tell him not to come? I mean, this whole thing's sort of getting out of hand.
Yeah, well, emergencies have that way of happening. You can't predict them. Do you feel well enough to head home?
Actually, I do feel a little sore.
Well, why don't you rest here a while? Well, at least until your father or someone comes to pick you up.
But you'll make sure to call Cruz Castillo again, will you?
Yeah, I'll make certain of it.
Damn it, Cruz, where are you?
Eden?
The answering machine picked it up. Should I leave a message?
No, thanks anyway. Oh, no, they called you too?
Is that any kind of greeting for the concerned brother?
Well, I just threw Daddy out a couple of minutes ago. It's kind of embarrassing to have everybody come down here.
I hardly think that an automobile accident is something to be embarrassed about, Eden.
I know, I'm fine, really.
What happened?
I was just driving my car and I lost control. It happened kind of sudden.
The nurse said that you hit a fence at the end of a runway out at the airport.
It wasn't an active runway.
Did it happen to be the same runway where Cruz crashed his motorcycle, chasing his old girlfriend's plane?
How would I know?
Just seems to be some sort of symbolic gesture on your part to me.
All right, Cruz and we had an argument. I was upset.
And you thought that admission to the emergency room would bring Cruz running?
I don't care if he comes or not.
I gather he hasn't yet. You want me to call him? I can make it intensely dramatic.
The nurse called a few minutes ago. He's not home.
I see. Well, how much longer will they let you occupy this room before your gesture goes for naught?
I don't really think it matters very much.
Eden, I think you're overreacting. Cruz will be here.
No, he won't. I think I've ruined things for the two of us. He may have even gone to prison just because of me.
Trust me. I'd know.
Then I don't even want to think of where he could be.
Darling. I saw you through the window. I thought you were Eden.
Still no word from her?
What are you doing out here this time of night?
Oh, I was out taking a walk. No, that's not true. I followed you from the Orient Express. I was going to knock on the door, but I didn't think that was the most discreet thing to do in the world, so I came out here, sat on a rock, and tried to figure out what to do next.
Uh-huh. Maybe you should go home.
You know, I denied it before, but Eden was right. I do invent excuses to see you. After tonight with Keith, I don't have any more excuses. I wish I did.
Well, I'm going to go inside now, Tori.
No, wait a minute, okay? Look, I made a mistake before that cost us a lot with Katie. Because I didn't know what my own motives were. But now my eyes are wide open, and I know exactly why I'm here. You see, there's a part of me I thought maybe you needed somebody if you and Eden really did break up, and I wanted that somebody to be me.
Like I told you before, I'm not going to lose Eden.
Yes, you did tell me that. Also, there's another part of me that wanted to tell you that when you find her, go easy on her, okay? She's been right all along. Her insecurity was not unfounded. Many of the things that she accused me of were true. You know, I'm not gonna bore you with the overt declarations or anything, but you know, I figured you know me well enough so I wouldn't have to go into it. I told you that after I found success, there was still something missing, and I didn't know what it was. And you know what? I lied. I knew exactly what it was. Sometimes at the beach in L.A., the sun would start to set, and I get all these memories flooding back, you know. And I get into my car, and I go out to this little place near the airport where I could watch the planes come in and take off. And I used to sit there for hours, you know, just thinking and remembering.
You know something? I don't think you and I could ever get it back. Even if Eden were to leave. Even if I'd never met her.
Oh, I think I believe you. Besides, you know, you wouldn't trust me anyway, because I ran out on you once, or no, ran out on you twice. And I don't want you to encourage me, because I honestly don't know what I would do. I guess, you know, dreams die hard. Maybe that's what first love is like, huh? Always.
What are you doing?
There's no point in hanging around here, is there?
What? Eden, you've come this far. It seems a waste of perfectly good theatrics to give it up now.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is pretty much a whole washout, don't you think?
Eden, you've got to trust Cruz's love enough to not expect him to do handsprings and somersaults for you every day of his life.
Yeah, well, he did them for Victoria, didn't he?
Well, look what Romeo did for Juliet. I'm of the opinion that had they lived, it wouldn't have worked out.
Mason, I told Daddy that Cruz was going to come pick me up. Don't tell him any different, okay?
You want me to drop you off somewhere?
No, I'm going to go to the Orient Express. I feel like being alone. Who knows, maybe I should just get used to that.
Oh, that's the spirit. Positive thinking. Listen, if you're planning an orgy of self-pity, I know any number of pathetic people be happy to join you.
Everything's a joke with you, isn't it?
No, it isn't at all, Eden. I'm just trying to convince you that you're wrong about Cruz. And you're definitely wrong about being alone. At least as long as I'm around.
Mason?
Ah, the White Knight arrives just in time for the floor show.
Where's Eden?
I'm told that there's some dancing nurses due
I
here
asked you
any
where
minute.
Eden is?
Eden is on the horns of a dilemma. Or you could try a bar stool at the Orient Express.
I guess she's all right then if they let her leave?
Oh, physically, yeah, a few bumps and bruises, which is fortunate considering the shape her car was in.
Yeah, I already spoke to the station. I told them to leave it where it was. I want to see it.
Your time might be better spent with Eden, Cruz. She's a very insecure young woman these days. I think some reassurance might do her good.
It hasn't so far. I mean, if it was something I was doing, I could fix it. But it's mostly of her own doing.
Well, you think that makes any difference? When people start getting self-destructive, attention has to be paid. Just knowing you shot yourself in the foot doesn't make the bleeding stop.
We'll get through this.
Here he is, the great Cruz Castillo.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It's been about 10 days since my accident.
I asked a simple question. Are you all right?
I'm fine. You can go back to whatever important business you dragged yourself away from, or whoever it was important.
Why were you driving down that runway?
Well, I answered that question to the people who showed up there and the people who cared enough to show up at the hospital.
So I failed another test. I want you to come home with me.
Do I still have a home with you?
All right? We both said some pretty cold things to each other, but we were angry, and I don't think we meant them.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't have the emotional resilience that you do. When I feel like our relationship is threatened, it takes me a couple of minutes to bounce back. Were you at home?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't answering the phone. Or weren't you alone?
You're coming with me.
Where?
You'll see.
Why did you bring me out here?
To find out why you did something so crazy. Eden, you could have been killed.
Well, I don't want to look at it.
Well, then just tell me what the hell you were trying to prove.
I don't know.
I want you to tell me.
I guess I wanted to show you that I love you as much as you love Victoria.
Maybe that's not the way I want to be loved. Maybe Tori and I are nothing now. From you, I expect a lifetime. You promised it to me, and I am damn well going to hold you to it.
I wasn't sure you still wanted me.
Are you crazy? I mean, how could you even want... How could you not know how much I...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I know I said some terrible things to you. I
No,
didn't mean
it
to.
was my fault. I was the one that forced you and...
What's wrong?
Victoria's perfume.
What?
When I was here, when I was at the hospital, were you with her? When I was here, when I was in the hospital, were you with her?
I saw Tori, yes.
Well, you should have changed your jacket. Then I wouldn't have known.
I would have told you.
When?
When I thought about it. Don't do this.
What am I doing? You come here reeking of another woman's perfume?
You stop this now before I
Well,
come
you only
completely
admit it when I
unglued.
catch you.
It was the worst night of Tori's life. She had to
Oh,
talk
so
to
did you
she's
use that
alone.
as an excuse to run off and see her?
You don't have any faith in me at all, do
Well,
you?
maybe you don't realize what you're doing. Maybe it's such heady stuff having two women fighting over you that you don't realize you're setting up the situation. You see, you can have this fantasy with Victoria, and you can blame it on Eden. I mean, she's so irrational. She's so
Like I said,
jealous.
the only one who's setting up this situation is you.
Wrong. You know, I hate myself for being so naive. I thought for sure that when you and Victoria went to Keith, it would be all over. But no, it has given you guys an excuse to get closer together. You want to explain that to me?
I'm not about to explain this to you. Not that you'd listen to me anyway. You don't know me well enough by now.
Oh,
You're
I'm
not gonna
learning.
figure me
I'm
out.
learning real fast. No one has ever hurt me like this before.
The only person hurting you right now, Eden, is yourself. I mean, when did you forget that other people have feelings? That they might hurt too? Tori might even, maybe even Keith? Would it be too much to ask for you to put aside your own needs for a second and try to feel something, maybe some compassion even, for somebody else?
So I'm just self-centered and heartless. And Tori's the helpless victim.
I didn't say that. You know, Eden, I made a vow to you in a church that I would love you and cherish you for as long as I live. Does that mean anything to you?
I guess I don't understand what it means to you. All I am asking is that you stop letting your ex-girlfriend run our lives.
I am not going to pretend that I don't feel connected to Tori because I do. I'm not going to feel that I feel her pain. Her guilt over Katie's death is something real and it's something awful, and she has suffered it alone and silently for 5 years.
I do not see her as the tragic heroine the way you do. And I think that's what scares me more than everything else, is that people see things that you don't.
Such as?
She's had a great life since she's left here. She went for a big acting career. She got it. She's probably got 1 million boyfriends.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I wish she just had one. I wish she had one that would come here and drag her back to Hollywood where she belongs. Cruz,